Hi, this is Kiesza, and you're listening to Bass Island Radio.
So, from local legend to universal, and from a local legend to a global legend in the blink of an eye. Welcome, Kiesza.
Thank you so much.
Is that your first time in Milan?
I was here very briefly before, actually, just for a magazine sort of shoot thing, but I never get to spend more than a day, and I love Italy so much. So I'm always like, oh, just let me spend one extra day so I can look around the city. But it hasn't happened yet. I'm gonna have to come back on my own time and just be a tourist.
I guess. In fact, how you're coping with all this success and explosion you've had from being just you and your producer in an indie label to a global phenomenon?
It was like drinking water out of a fire hose for a while. It was like amazing, and it was also very challenging at the same time because it went from 0 to 100 almost overnight practically. So I had to really adjust to flying all over the world, being in a different city almost every day for a while, and sort of uprooting myself. And I almost I more or less don't even have a home right now. I'm like a gypsy. Everyone's like, where do you live? And I'm like, I don't know.
On the bus.
I'm never in one place more than a few days. So
how many hours a day do you train in order to have such a rich and energetic performance on stage?
Not as much as I would like to. I love to rehearse and train, but there actually is not a lot of time, especially when you're traveling as much as we do, my whole crew. We just rehearse before the tour, and then the main thing is you learn a lot being on stage and performing every night, and then the main thing is trying to keep yourself physically in shape. Outside of that, so keeping yourself working out and stretching, and because there's just not a lot of time in a day. It's crazy. You feel like you can fit so much into a day, and when you go on tour, it's gone. You wake up and the whole day is gone.
In fact, you seem like a really spontaneous girl and very always smiling. So apparently the most spontaneous, the better, because your hit single Hideaway was recorded and mastered, everything in like 90 minutes, an hour and a half.
Everything you hear was made in 90 minutes, which is crazy. Yeah, I don't even know how that happened. Because usually, like, if you write a song in 90 minutes, like, that's fast. But if the whole track, from the mixing, scratch, everything you hear was done in 90 minutes. Yeah. So
was it only you and Rami, your producer, and also your label mate, working on it?
Well, Rami created Local Legends, so Rami is the label. Like, it was the indie label at the first, and we created it he created it after we created Hideaway together.
I see.
Because we wanted to release it independently. It's hard as like a new artist. I didn't have any social media or anything, and a lot of labels, they look for that when they sign a new artist, and you have to. I like artistic freedom to have my own ideas. So I wanted to make sure if I ever went with a big label that I had all my own creative freedom. And so that's why we went with an indie sort of label to start with.
It's a good start. It's a good idea.
Yeah, in fact. But
And it first charted in the UK. Quite rightly, as expected. Did you get the same support overseas, like in the States and Canada?
Yeah, Canada actually came right after the UK, I'd say. The US has a lot of support. It's just a massive country. So I'd say like the places where there's a lot of nightlife, it just exploded, like New York, Miami, LA, and then a lot of places along the coast, Boston as well, Washington, D.C. So East Coast, West Coast. And I feel like I think the middle of America is still discovering me right now. I see. I feel like United States is like a continent within itself. Exactly. Each state is like its own country practically.
And you're a trained ballerina, that we can all tell, but you're also a tap and jazz dancer. Then you used to be in the Navy, you used to be a sailor. Was that your sort of plan B in case music wouldn't be the right decision?
No, that came before. I never had a plan B. I just sort of go with the flow. And the military happened because I was a sailor, and I thought, hey, well, this is sailing, and I get to do Morse code, which is fun, and boot camp sounded cool. So I did that, and it was around that time that I joined the military and was sailing on these big, tall ships as well outside of the military that I started songwriting. And it was actually the songwriting that took me out of the military, because I just realized that I had a real natural instinct for songwriting, and I loved it, and people were responding to my music very quickly, even though I just started. So I felt like maybe there was something there, and I also felt like music was something that I could give to people. It was something very personal that was like, for me, it was healing. It helped me get through situations, but also when I wrote a song, it didn't just help me, it helped other people. And I love that about music. I love that it brings people together. So I felt like that would be a really fun career choice, and I didn't know where I was going or what I would do with it. I just started, and
well, in fact, you graduated from Berklee College of Music, so that was your studies, and you do martial arts. What else that we don't know about you? You do so many things.
I used to be a synchronized swimmer as well. Yeah. I try a lot of things. Like, I guess you don't know what you like until you've at least tried it once. True. So I tried a lot of different things and thought, I like this, I don't like this. You know, the military was something that I tried, and I liked it, but it wasn't suited for my personality long term. Because you can't put me in a box, and you can't really tell me what to do with too much. I'm always changing the rules and making my own rules. Want new systems, so
we're very much alike. And your style has become iconic. Do you decide your own, like what you wear and your style, your hairstyle?
I choose choose everything on my own. But I do. I sometimes work with stylists who will bring clothing options for me to pick out. But I always pick out my own clothes, definitely.
And is it true that you're going to have your own line of fashion, yeah?
Yes, it's coming. It's like super close. It's so hard on tour. Like, I'm a perfectionist with what I do, so I just need a little bit more time to finish off some designs, and then they'll go into production soon. So yeah.
So you're also the face of the new Fendi campaign for the eyeline color block, among magazines, many other things. Apart from being really sporty and obviously musically talented, are you also business-minded?
Yeah, I love the business. I feel like the business is just as creative as the music itself.
It is.
And I love it. That's where Rami and I had a lot of fun with just thinking about how are we going to get the song out to the world, you know, starting with nothing, you know, and moving to the UK and getting it into the clubs and then having it played on radio completely independently. It was really it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I really enjoy the business side of things. I think business is an art in itself.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you've been asked this question about like 200 million times, because that's the count of the views I just checked yesterday on the Hideaway video.
200 million.
Yes.
Wow.
Was it your idea to make that video, the whole choreography?
It was a mix of many ideas, actually. Rami came up with the idea of doing a one take, and I love that idea. And then I wanted to do street dancing, so I added my street dancing, and I brought my friend Luba Kesto, who's a choreographer, in, and so she helped me sort of create the movement. And then my brother filmed it, so it was like an idea that just kept developing as we went. And we didn't even really know what it would look like till we did the video itself, because we didn't have a budget for it. So it was like friends and friends of friends and Luba's friends, and, you know, coming out to help us. And we didn't know who was actually going to show up on the day of the shoot. So it was, we didn't even know if it would work or not. We just kind of went for it. We didn't have a permit.
How many
or nothing.
times you shoot it? Like just twice.
We got it on the second take. Yeah, the first take worked too, but the second take was cool because there were more interesting people, and because it was all done live. Like there's no permit. Like, so all those sort of joggers and bike riders and stuff, and the guys at the beginning, like they're all just real people that we were like, huh, what's this? So I just thought there was more interesting people, sort of bystanders walking by in that one. And
talking of the album, Son of a Boma, it's really amazing. I really like it personally, and as Spin said, it's one of the most elastic albums of the 90s, both 20 years too late, but also very much on time, as it stretches from house to rock, R&B. Any anecdotes about any of the songs, any other songs that you had that didn't make it in the album, or how long was it in the making for, the whole album process?
I started with Hideaway, really, and Hideaway blew up really quickly, as everybody knows.
Yeah.
So I write pretty quickly, and Rami works pretty quickly. So we wrote, I'd say, the album over the course of 3 weeks that were spread over the course of a year. So we had about we had 1 week chunks 3 times that we wrote everything. So we wrote really, really fast. We just had to sort of spread out our work a little bit because I was suddenly off traveling, and we're like, oh no, we have like only one song. How am I going to do a show with only one song? I need more music. So that was the big dilemma, because we thought for sure we'll take at least a year for people to even notice what's going on, but it happened. It took 1 week. So
it was massive. And
the problem was trying to catch up to the song and keep up, because it was going way faster than we could keep up with.
That's the hard bit. The second bit. I want to ask you something, a bit like a wider question. Enough with music. I really like No Enemies, for example, as a song. So my question is, if we could all fall in love together, what's Kiesza's view of the world, of society, of music nowadays?
Well, music goes through a lot of changes, you know. Sometimes, I mean, I feel like back in the 90s, there was a lot, people were talking a lot more about politics and sort of what's right, what's wrong, what's, you know, with the world, what's going on. And then music has gone through phases where it was just cheesy pop, you know, that didn't really mean anything. But I feel like suddenly people are really starting to pay attention to lyrics again, which is great for me, because I'm a real lyricist, and it allows me to sort of really speak to people through my music. And
you're an author for other artists, right?
Yes. I write every style of music you can imagine, even country music. You know what? I think most people, like the majority of people, are really good at heart, and people, you know, they want what's best for themselves, what's best for their family, and they want to be happy. Yeah. And whatever makes them happy. And a lot of people go through challenging times, but I find a lot of people just fight when you don't need to fight, or get angry when you don't need to get angry. And that's sort of, that song is just saying, like, if you just looked at everybody equally, the same way, if you looked at everybody as a person that you genuinely love, you would never hurt that person. You would never want to go to war with them. And every person has their own story and has just as personal a life as you do, and, you know, loves with, you know, just as much intensity. It's just you don't know that about other people. But, you know, every person in the world could be a person that you could love potentially. You know, you just didn't have the chance. Maybe.
You don't know them.
So instead of judging people quickly, it's better to take time to get to know people. And I don't see any reason for, you know, war and all this stuff. I feel like every problem can be worked out without fighting.
Peacefully.
Yeah.
I really like the answer. Really like the answer.
Convincing the world to do that is not easy.
Hopefully music will, some way.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Kiesza. It was a pleasure.
Grazie mille.
Grazie a te.